Hey guys, welcome back to Landscape Alert, where this week I am going to be recreating this design. Now, I will say that I worked on this project over the winter, and the installation was almost done. About 80 to 90% of the full project was completed. But I do live in the area of the Rockies, where because of the weather conditions, we can't complete the full project when we start sometimes. So in this case, we were just waiting for the trees, shrubs, and perennials, but it is completed at this point in time, and this is one of the reasons why I'm bringing you this video to show you what happened with this design and what the homeowner really wanted for them to utilize areas and so forth and so on. So let's get to the design in itself. Now, one of the things that you'll notice is that in the backyard, I'm doing this large area, and this is where the homeowners actually wanted synthetic turf for their kids. They don't want to mow anymore, and even though they are going to be spending a bit more of money in the installation part, they are definitely going to get away from the mowing and everything that comes with taking care of grass sod. So this area right here is where I was kind of putting the colors, kind of just giving it some color where it looks like it looks a little different greens and so forth and so on. I should say that if you are a designer or you're starting or wanting to be a designer, there's different ways that you can do your designs. There is no real one way. There are many designers out there that do different kinds of stuff, and they are just really good at it. So I should say that if you are starting in this path, keep going. They're gonna look a little rough until they look real nice and clean. I don't say that mine are the best, so not definitely saying that part. But there is also a wall next to this synthetic turf area because there is a height elevation from the house to the turf, and in fact it was about 3 feet, which is where you see this black thick line where it represents that wall. On top of this wall, there was going to be a patio that we added, and the same goes for a pathway that was going to go from the front to the back. And because of the elevations, we also had to put some steps to make it work, and also in between the wall. So this area, at least this specific property, they have access to a trail in the back of the house, so you'll see that. We also put some stepping stones in this area just to get them to the back, but just so you can sort of see what is going on with this area. So those are the things that I'm always looking for in terms of what the homeowner wants with their patio. Do they want to mow? Do they want to have an access to the back? Is there a reason for this access? Is it just for friends? Is it for machinery, like say a mower and so forth? What is the purpose? Now, there are different materials that you can use. In this case, as I mentioned before, they wanted concrete. They just wanted this very gray look to the whole design, which is why concrete suited really well. The regular concrete in this case, I should add. There is an area where we did install a boulder wall there, but that was because the builder itself had asked for it prior to them owning the house. So that wall was already there, so they didn't really want to move that, just kind of leave it there. For the front yard, it was a xeriscape with a driver bed that would catch water from the gutter and take it out there. Now, this material for this driver bed was a speckled white stone. Might be same name where you are, maybe a little different. It's gonna be more on the white with a little dots of black gray as to why it's named speckled white. Don't have a lot of materials in terms of different textures, mainly decorative rocks, but there are going to be different sizes for them, and I guess there is texture in that regard because there is gray colors, granites, and at the same time there are some river rock, which is one of the ones I mentioned earlier, the speckled white in this case. So you kind of see how I am kind of adding the color to everything else and kind of working with this area, kind of showing me putting the color of rock. Now, generally speaking, depending on where you are working or the area that you are, HOAs probably won't care about the color in itself. They most likely prefer it to be in black and white, but I do like to do this ones in color because I can show the homeowner what it's going to look like. So you kind of see where I'm placing the trees, some in the back, some in the front. different kinds of trees for this area. And I should mention that because again, where I live, there are certain trees that are just not going to do well, and hence I don't use them often. Like I wish I could use a palm tree, but unfortunately it would not do so well in this area. But I did put a few trees in the front. Those were, one of them was a blue totem spruce. The other one was an amber maple for the parkway area. That's the area between the sidewalk and the street itself. In the other area next to the house, we also installed a retaining wall with veneer stone finishing. We added a few different shrubs for this area, like a globe spruce, a Panchito manzanita, some Russian sages, and a few other perennials in between the driveway bed, as well as some accent boulders. There was also a few different kinds of ornamental grasses that we were working with in this area, some Carl Fosters. And in the back, you are seeing where we put some upright junipers, specifically speaking about the Spartan junipers, because there was some windows over here where the homeowners eventually wanted to have some privacy. So that's the reason why we put those there. You'll see how I am putting some of the grasses over here. As I mentioned before, we had a few different kinds of grasses, mainly the feathery grasses. We were also thinking of putting something like a morning light maiden grass and a few other ones, as well as some lilacs for the back. In this area in the front of the house where you have this wall, we did put a few different perennials there just to kind of again give it more of a look, more texture, more height as well for this area. But overall, you're kind of seeing this whole design being played out, kind of me putting a little bit of the different colors of different sizes of stone. I like to do this especially when I'm working with a different crews, so they kind of have an idea as to what is going to go there. So the size of the stone, I generally put a legend that it says this is X, Y, and Z rock, or X, Y, and Z material. Circles for river rock, squares for my granites, bigger circles or ovals for my cobblestones, and triangles on the bigger side for my riprap. Now that is just the way I like doing it. I like to know if you are doing this, or what are your thoughts while seeing this. Does this make sense as to why I'm doing this? Let me know in the comments, and let me know if you like any of this design. I'm trying to kind of do all this to give you ideas if you are working with your own landscape, to kind of have something in your mind as to what is the important part of your house and what you want to accomplish with it. Let me know in your comments, and of course, we appreciate all the subs and likes. At the same time, comments are definitely appreciated, especially to know what else we should be looking at or working on, especially if you have a question. Let me know in the comments, and don't forget the motto that we have over here, which is Dream, Design, Create, and I will see you guys on the next video. Take care. Bye.